What is going on, you guys? Bastion YGO here, and today I'm here with my boy Rob. Say hi, nice people at home, Rob.
Hey, people at home who are watching this video.
Goddamn right. Let's go. It is time for Rob's Deck of the Month. So I know we've been covering Spright quite a bit. I know that we had talked about potentially doing tier elements. Maybe we can do that next month, Rob. But today you got for us tier 0 best deck of the format. Yes?
Yeah. So the only reason that this isn't a tier element deck is because this format has been very open. There's so many different variants, tier element and Spright, and the tier element deck I have, I'm not personally the biggest fan of. I feel more confident in the Spright deck, and I feel this the Spright deck right now is more consistent than tier element because of the decks not needing for RNG. Tier element, you can just have the worst mills and your deck is really bad. Versus Spright, where it's just I open up Diva Blue and alright, my hand is nuts, my board is nuts, I'm hitting on everything. Yeah, so this is kind of part 2 for from the half a case opening we did. If you haven't checked out that video, go check it out. You might have pulled a Starlight in there, shameless plug. Go check out that video if you haven't.
Maybe not.
But if you
would know if you followed us on Instagram.
Yes, if you check me out on Evil Collecting or Evil_collecting on Instagram, you'll see if I pulled a Starlight rare from that video or not. But definitely check out that video as well. But so I opened up the other 6 boxes and pulled a 3rd blue and all the Spright Ultras. So I was just alright, cool, I have enough to play this Spright deck. And as long-standing viewers of the channel know, I like these cards. These cards are cool. I'm playing these cards.
That's a way throwback.
That's one of those if you know, you know.
That's a 100 subscriber throwback.
That is early 2017, early 28 or late 2017. Into it right now. So 2 Spright Blue, 3 Jet, 2 Red, 1 Carrot, and 1 Pixies. Pixies I think is a new standard card that you can search off blue or Spright Blue, because you just go alright, cool, special blue, add this, and it just lets you clear almost everything. It lets you clear against Marincess, that kind of good bitch, against the Agnister deck, you just kill that. You play against the Pure Punk deck, sure, you kill Chen Ying. This card is just very good. And then you play 2 red to play around Dark Ruler no more, because the standard play is just Jet instead of searching Smasher, searches Starter, and then you hold Starter, the Dark Ruler, then you go cool Res Starter, summon this, and once you have an interruption, and then having just the 1 red, not a lot, but it is a 10th name, which is really good because it lets you just have more Sprites in your deck, which going second is actually very good because it lets you go 2 into this to make a gigantic or a cavalry, so then bridge your way into Zeus. And then I played 3 Starter and 1 Smasher. Yeah, I like Smashers in this deck. A lot of people will discredit Smasher, but having a out to Mystic Mine, Skill Drain, just TCU, any Floodgate, and then you can also you can banish the big fusion, the big Element fusion, and then also having a search spell out to window when you go first is very good. So 10 Spright cards.
Also out to the Mystic Mine, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely out to Mystic Mine. That card is just so oppressive. But yeah, so 3 Deep Sea Diva, 3 Swamp Frog, 1 Dupe, 1 Ronin. I like Dupe less because of the attack thing, and just having a 4th Frog. Having an extra Frog means that even when you draw Dupe, you get it's a card that you can just normal. And it's an extra banish for Ronin Tonin. It's instead of having 3 banishes, you have 4, and you'll go through 1 to 2 typically when you do, or you go through 1 in your turn 1 combo. So then you have 2 more to actually play the game. When you open, it gives you another water to open with swap, swap, pitch, Dupe, special swaps, then Ronin, make Toad before you even get to play. So that means if you have a Diva, let's say you open up Diva, swap, and a water, you get to make Toad before you get to normal Diva, and when you normal Diva, you get to make a gigantic Diva, and then gets you blue, and then you usually get to play the game from there, which is really cool. Yeah, I didn't play the Nimble card because I played Hulk. If I didn't play Hulk, I'd probably play the Nimble Beaver card. and then no nimble. Like I don't think that card is actually like that good. Then on to the hand traps because we played a lot. 3 Ash, 3 Nibiru.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 2 Veiler, 2 Ghost Ogre, 3 Impermanence. So I just want to talk about this because like the hand trap ratio has been changing so much in this deck that it's hard to like consolidate what's like really good and really consistent. So the reason I played Veiler was because I played Selene in my extra deck. And I did not. So the weird thing is I didn't play Crow, right? And like I think your main deck should be preference of what is more played at your locals. Game day is actually mostly like Tearlament and not a lot of or it's mostly Spright and not a lot of Tearlament. So I won't think that it's good in the mirror. And then like if I play it against Spright, if I draw a Nibiru plus any of these other hand traps, I win the game because I'll go. If you have an Imperm or a Veiler for the red, then like it doesn't matter that you have the Nibiru, or it doesn't matter like what they do. Like they'll have to their hand will have to be very specific to play around like Nibiru and another hand trap. Then if you draw Nibiru Ash, you like Ash the Gigantic, then you Nibiru them. Or if you draw Veiler Nibiru, Veiler the Gigantic, then you Nibiru them. Veiler, like there's just so many combinations where Nibiru plus another card is really good. But I will say it makes your Tearlament matchup game 1 a lot worse. So you can regularly not play these 4 and then play 3 oh no, not these 4, like you cannot play these 5 and then play 3 Crow and not play these 2 and then your deck and play a 3rd Ogre and your deck is 41. That's the raw magic number, so that might actually be correct. Or but like you need like these cards somewhere in your list. These cards are very good. But Crow is also really good on like the mirror. And then like I was also thinking about Bell too, because you can like Bell their Tearlament on season is very good.
Yeah.
But like the deck is just like all adaptation. And, like it reminds me of Sword Soul in the sense where like your deck can be like very adaptive to what your locals is, like what your local areas and what like you feel is like what you need to prepare for. And then the staple for this format, 3 Dark Ruler. Holy crap, this card's like so. Oh my god! Like I've said this for years. Every time you draw this card, you just win the game. Like you activate this, going second, and then you just make Zeus. Like you have second Dark Ruler every board, make Zeus. Dark Ruler, like you play against Tearlament, activate Dark Ruler, make Zeus. You play against Spright, activate Dark Ruler, make Zeus.
That's the combo
like
right there.
Activate Dark Ruler, make Zeus. You play against like Dragon, activate Dark Ruler, make Zeus. Like going second, like this card is so impressive. And like you don't even have to make Zeus. That's what's messed up. You don't even have to make Zeus. You could just like make a board, and sometimes it's like, oh crap. Then one. Weird. This card should be banned. I hate this card, but like this card is broken. This card should definitely be banned. And then the last card in my deck is 3 Prosperity. I'll be honest, I only play these because I have these. Like a lot of people have been testing with Talents and Desires. Desires I'd like less because you can just banish your run into. Like I think Talents is actually a very good card, and I think it's a very good card against Spright specifically. So like you can argue like if you're on like a budget, like Talents can be supplemented for these. But in like a month or so, these are probably gonna be reprinted, so this should hopefully be useful.
I hope they get reprinted, bro. I need to get my hand on a copy of those.
Yeah, no. Like these cards. This card is
budget variant real fast. Sorry, Rob. If you guys do only have Desires, go ahead and check out the profile that I posted a few days back. It'll have the Desires in the event you want to go ahead and alternate that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But just the fact that like you can just dig for 6. Like the extra deck is like mostly like a lot of like utility. Like me and Sebastian like before the video got into like a conversation where like literally besides like 6 of these cards, like or besides 9 of these cards, 6 of these cards in that deck are just interchangeable. Like they don't have to be like, all right, I'm gonna play only like this standard extra deck. Like you have a lot of flexibility. So like the fact that you can just like banish 6 and get like any like reactionary card or any like engine card is just so good. And like when you're in a top deck war 2, you can just do this for 3, get like an extra Spright, and then like normal summon. And like it's just crazy. That's the main deck. 42. You could definitely do the cut the Nibiru and the Veilers and play a 3rd Ogre and 3 DD Crow. But I was citing D Shifter, so I I'm just showing the full side deck. I'll talk about some side deck cards probably at the end. But like, if you're not playing Crow in the main deck, I probably just side shift and just call it a day. Like that card's just very good against tier limit.
Really good.
Yeah. Then for the extra, shouts to Angel, my homie who has been playing Exo Sister. So if I ever do an Exo Sister list, I'm stealing it from him. Yeah, and then these two. Shouts to also my homie Angel for pulling me a broken case of Power of the Elements. Love you, buddy. But onto the extra deck. The one Toad, I think you don't need like 2 or 3. I think 3 is very excessive, especially in Spright. I think that like the fact that you can always summon this back off the elf, and even when you can't summon it off elf, you can always just go like bring back the frog and then like summon back Ronin. Like that's what also where the extra Duke Frog will come from. Because you'll go like summon back Duke Frog, special back Ronin, and then hard make this. Like let's say if they like interrupted your turn 1 combo. Yeah. 2 Gigantic Spright, this card is broken. This card, I think, is my favorite card in the extra deck besides Spright Elf. Like this card says get any level 2 you want for free. Like, and then like it locks your opponent and you. So like when I first heard about locking your opponent, I thought it was like, oh, the deck is centered around like, okay, you make this and like they can't like summon 2s or they can only summon 2s. But there was the fact that it was just like it locks you for the turn, which means you get to play a lot of cool, like you get to go like IP into like a lot of cool monsters too. Is really good. And like the fact that this lets you play around Nibiru, Gamma, or Veiler, or Nibiru and Gamma is still yeah, I think it's like one of my favorite cards in the extra deck. Like this card is very, very cool. And also the fact that like it lets you turn like your dead Link 2s and into a combo. Like for example, like with Hulk, like if you can go Hulk summon any 2, then you go Hulk and the 2 you summon into this. Or you can summon a monster and then turn Hulk and the extra 2 you have into this, and like that's also a full combo. Like this card is actually just absurd. And Cavalry, this is detached. It can't be destroyed by battle if it has a material. If it battles, you can detach a material, perform its damage calculation, and then bounce the monster battled. So it lets you like clear like window. It lets you kill via the tier limit level infusion, and it also just like forces just like stuff that can't be like targeted or can't be destroyed. Down Magician, because shout outs to the best card in this extra deck. Divine Arsenal, ADA Zeus. When you go second, you summon this card. When you go third, you summon this card. When you go for game and you fail, you summon this card. Like this card is the best card in the extra deck, and I want to play 2 so badly. Like you just summon this card every time you go second. Like going second, I think I've in testing I've summoned Sky Cavalry and Zeus more than I've summoned Toad, which is hilarious.
Damn.
Yeah, like it's crazy. But like this card is so absurd, and I wish I could put like had more space. Then I played Almirage, IP, double Elf. Elf is like the best card in the extra deck besides like Spright or Gigantic Spright. IP and Almirage are like, this is when you draw Swap Frog by itself. It basically turns Swap Frog by itself into Gigantic plus Toad. IP is just part of the end board. Like sometimes if your hand is like, if you don't go through like Hulk and stuff, and then 2 Spright Elf is like super standard. Then this is where the flexibility comes in, because the next like 5 slots are like flexible. Besides like Almirage, maybe Almirage is like Hulk, Dark, Selene. Let me just get the Dark so you can see Starlight Rare. My fault.
There you go, my man.
There you go.
Quick flex.
Selene, Unicorn, and Access Code. So part of why I still have Veiler in my deck is because I was playing Selene. But if I take the Selene out, I would probably replace it with Jin Buster, Cat Shark, or Nightmare Phoenix. Those are probably like the next 3 cards, or the Oniba Monkeru, the Ring 2. So like those are the 4 cards that Selene will probably become. And then if I ever cut Hulk from my deck, which I probably won't, because the going Diva into Hulk into Ash, normal summon swap or summoning Swap Frog is actually just like a real combo that happens a lot games 2 and 3 to play around Dark Ruler. And then Unicorn Access Code aren't really like flex spots, because like this lets you go for game, but like there's a lot of times where you just don't. And like there's some list that I was trying that played like Boral Sword and stuff, and like Oral Sword just says, all right, you die now, versus like Access Code, where it's like I get to clear your board. You don't necessarily die, but I get to like just clear your board and just like help everything. But yeah, no, like this deck the extra deck has just like infinite spots and infinite flexibility, which is something really cool about the extra deck that I think hasn't been like properly explored yet, where you can just like once this extra deck is solved, I think the deck just becomes infinitely better than it's been. Like, don't get me wrong, the deck is performing really well. But like I feel like, and a lot of people I've been testing with have the same opinion, where the deck hasn't like met its full potential yet, like at least in TCG. And like it was better off out of the gate compared to like Tier Limit and the OCG. And I feel like once it gets solved in the TCG, that's when the deck will like fully shine before the issues come. That make that boost and make Tier Limit consistent, as opposed to just like a somewhat of an RNG deck. But yeah, that is the August. This is the month we're in the month of August. That is the August deck of the month. We might do. We can probably do a 0.5 deck of the month. Deck of the month 1.5 with Tier Limit. If I can find a list that I like that I'm allowed to give out. Yeah, no, I really like this one, man. I feel like there's no Scythe right now. There's no Mystic Mine. There's no like this. It's just like the side decks are just so like floodgate heavy. It's like very spooky. But like I feel like once the floodgates get defined, that's where it's like, all right, cool. We know what floodgates people are playing. Let's play these cards instead. And like it might be a way to just like slow the game down a little bit, which would be nice. Because this deck actually, funny enough, this format just reminds me of like Metal Foe ABC format, with like Tier Limit being like an RNG but somewhat powerful deck being in like ABC, and then Spright is like the Paleozoic, very control-y, and then you have like the Punk deck as like the Metal Foe, where it's just like it's also very consistent, but it's also a blowout, but like you can just get floodgated really easily, and then like you'll lose games also getting floodgated. But yeah, no, I'm very much liking this format. I'm very excited for Euros this upcoming weekend to see what people play and what people like come up with, and then I'm excited for Niagara as well, because I know a lot of cool innovations gonna be coming from that, especially with Tactical Masters being legal as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you have another YCS coming up in Brazil in the next 2 weeks as well, so that's gonna be really, really exciting to see what comes up. Is Tactical Masters gonna be legal for that one as well?
If it's this weekend, no. Tactical Master comes out.
No, it's gonna be the following weekend.
Yeah, it's August 26th. Plus, what's also cool, I think for Niagara, it's either the week before or the week after Megaton. So if it's the week after Megaton, we might see just like a lot of these decks that like were harder to get, like Sword Soul and some of the Despia stuff, or like Diviner of the Herald. There's like a lot of random cards that were like somewhat pricey that like deterred people from playing these decks. And then it's also like Master Duel affecting people, like, oh, Sword Soul's in Master Duel, let me build Sword Soul now because it's a lot cheaper. Or like, oh, Despia's in Master Duel, let me play Despia, kind of thing.
Fluandery is dominating Master Duel right now, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but no.
It is so cheap to build. I literally started a new account on Master Duel on my phone just because I wanted to, something on my spare time when I'm, doing whatever. Anyway, I had built Fluandery. I played the tutorial, whatever, and like maybe 20-30 minutes later, I had the full Fluanderies built. Like, listen. I need a good starter deck so I can slap everyone up and get the gems, okay? Plus, I couldn't find DD Griffin, so I couldn't play DDD.
Out of every deck to pick, you picked Flunder?
Look, I'm not proud of it either, but look, I need, you know what? I need quick wins when I'm on the toilet. That's probably TMI, but there you go.
No, Flunder, that's another deck too, because it's probably gonna be like all common in the Megaton too. So like,
I mean, it was all common when it first came out too.
Yeah, but like it'd be extra common, like Robina.
Extra common.
it could be extra common, like Rabina, Egglen.
I mean,
I
look,
can see like
if
the
we
trap being a rare.
if we get Advent of Adventure in as a common, I wouldn't be opposed because that's a $13 card. Also, if we get D-Shifter reprinted as a common, I wouldn't mind that one, so I can avoid paying $13 a pop.
Yeah, no, those are supposed to be in the Crystal Beast deck. So, but like, what's also cool is there's gonna be a lot of good like reprints in the next few weeks because we're getting the Megatons that has like Ash of the Ogre, Nibiru, Lightning Storm. Then we're also having the what the hell is it called? The Crystal Beast deck that have Ash, D-Shifter potentially, Ash potentially. Bell I think also might be getting a reprint in that as well. Just like a lot of cool like reprints coming up. So like if you're a budget player, it's like September to October is typically like a very good like month, or very few good months, because like you get like a lot of good reprints like Megatons.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you're coming back in Yu-Gi-Oh right now or starting for the first time, this you're in a good place. It's a good time.
Yeah. And like the Spright deck too is like also pretty cool too, and the 2-element deck is also very good. It's like it's unfortunate because like these decks are so like expensive out of the gate, and they're only gonna get more expensive. That's the only thing I don't like. But I also like the fact that like most of the Spright cards were common and super and ultra. So like I was expecting like starter and elf to be super rares and blue.
Along with
so
blue.
I thought it was like So I thought the deck was gonna have like 3 secret rares. Everything was gonna be ultras and supers. The deck was gonna be like $1,000 for the core, and then like they released it. It was like, oh, yeah, it was the only secret rare, and everything else is like pretty much an ultra. And like, all the ultras now are like under $10, I think, but they're getting to that under $10 mark, which is
and
which is like very
like
cool.
$5 now or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, like I think you can get the Spright core for like 300, but like
if
of
you are new to Yu-Gi-Oh, 300 is very inexpensive for a deck. Just trust us on that one.
But what's funny is most of that is Spright blue, because 240 of that is Spright blue. Everything else is like $5-10, and it's just like let's say if you randomly played in 2017 and had a paleo deck, like even if you have the commons and the commons of all the extra stuff, and you have like a random toad just laying around, like all you need is Pot of Prosperity, and like that's it. And like even then you don't need it because you can play Talents instead. You can play Crossout, which is another card that a lot of people are playing in Spright that it's just not that good, which is crazy because you think, oh, so many people are playing the Spright decks, Crossout's crazy, but like it's not a card that when you're going second you buy it and you're like, yes, I drew Crossout. I get to break their board because all the stuff that you really want to cross out is from the extra deck. So for that, you just play Dark Ruler no more. And that's pretty much just it.
Which is why I was so conflicted when people were saying Crossout's going to be the next best card. Just because, again, like as you said, going second, it's kind of useless at that point unless you want to side it. But then do you really want to waste 3 side slots for Crossout Designator? I think Triple Tactics Talent is just a lot more versatile, but again, personal opinion.
It's like Crossout is like the best card going first because if you're playing the Sun deck, it stops them from like anything. So it stops them from attempting to make a board, but like it gives the deck another out to Dark Ruler, which is nice. Because if you play like, let's say you play like Judgment or Pointer with Crossout, it gives you 6 cards post side to like just stop Dark Ruler. Like if I'm playing my deck and I go like if I have Combo and Prosperity, right, and I do the full board and I go Prosperity, Banish 6, that gives me 6 cards out of my deck. That should be like at that point, let's say 25 to 20.
Oh yeah.
I have 6 cards to like, to get. So a fourth of my deck is at least one of these 6 cards that say, yo, fuck your Dark Lord. Like
very nicely said, Rob. Very eloquently.
Very eloquently and very professional.
Definitely, man. But honestly, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for coming on the channel and sharing your thoughts with us what the Spright deck can really do, especially with the Prosperity build, which I know is in a lot of people's mind, probably the more competitive build, but essentially we've seen people win with Prosperity, with Desires, Triple Tactics, Cross House. There's so many different ways you can win with this deck. There's no set mold, which is why there's going to be an endless amount of deck profiles coming out for Spright, and I just think the more the merrier. Essentially, the more profiles we're able to get out there, the better we'll be able to actually analyze this deck and see if we can finally figure out what the correct ratios are for the extra deck, and hopefully that comes sooner rather than later, because honestly I'm constantly second guessing myself, and it's really irritating.
It's fine. It's just like the deck gives you so many options. Like that's the one thing. Like you could play the Underworld Goddess, you could play Appaloosa, you could play these cool rank 2s, you can play. There was so many people playing Stygian Dirge. I started looking into rank 1s, like rank 1s to like play, just because I was just like, huh. So like when you get Stygian Dirge or when you get fucking Mischief of the Gnomes, it's like, all right, cool. How am I'm playing through this card by making this cool rank 1, or like, oh my god, like that extra deck space is very adaptable. Like we had the Water Charmer, the Fire Charmer, like these were all cards. Celine and Hulk, like these are cards that just like came up and are just like can come up. Like there's been times that I'm testing and I'm just like, huh, the Fire Charmer to steal their elf, summon back my own monster, and then make Gigantic with their elf sounds crazy. Or when it's alright, they use their Toad, let me make the Water Charmer, steal their Toad so I have a negate, then turn my Water Charmer and something else into a Spright Elf and make my own Toad, so now I have double Toad. The amount of boards that this deck can make
it's endless.
Is absolutely endless. It's absurd. But it's adaptable, which is really cool. Like I haven't seen that in a while. Like every deck is like, alright, here's your cookie cutter extra deck. Like your extra deck doesn't change. Like it's like the Sword Soul extra deck didn't change. The Prank Kid extra deck. The only change that extra deck had was it started becoming a Prank Kid engine in a DPE deck, where they started playing like 2 Fusion Destiny, or 2 Verte, DPE, Double Link Spider. Like, but before that extra deck did not change.
Right.
The extra deck, the Sword Soul's been around for a year. The only 2 cards that have changed are when they played Auroradon and Health, and when they cut Auroradon and Health. That was it. Like,
only variety in the entire deck. Crazy.
Versus Spright, where it's just like, alright, here's your extra deck, and here's another extra deck, here's another extra deck, and here's another extra deck, and they're all different. Like I've looked at so many, and they're all doing well. And like I've looked at like all these videos, and I've tested other builds, and I've made other builds. Like it's like there's an endless of cards you can play in this extra deck that are good. Even like random cards like Virus Breaker, like Virus Swordsman. Like this card you can play in the extra deck. Nightmare Cerberus you can play in the extra deck. Like it's endless. It's absolutely endless, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely really cool to have that versatility, man. Honestly, I think Spright overall is going to be one of those decks that we're not going to be able to actually figure out for a while, at least until the YCSs come around, and then we'll eventually see, and then hopefully we'll be able to get a ban list soon, just to set us on the right path. Mystic Mind gets banned, okay, we don't have to start playing as many outs to it, things like that, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said before, man, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Really appreciate you coming here, sharing your thoughts with us. Do you have any last minute advice for anyone looking to pick up Spright for their main deck, going to locals, regionals, or YCSs?
The deck is very fun. The deck is very adaptable. But the deck is also very simple, which is cool. Like you have a lot of like cool lines of thought going second, but like it reminds me very much of Salamander. So if you're someone that likes Salamander and like Sword Soul, I highly recommend this deck because like it's very controlly, but it also has a lot of and it has a very good skill ceiling with in terms of what you can do with the deck. Like just because you can like make a link to do something and then turn that into Gigantic Spright and then make your board from there. Like you get to crack a board, summon any 2, and then pretty much make your engine. Like it's just crazy.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah,
insane, man. Absolutely.
But insane. but definitely check out Sebastian's Spright video as well. Definitely check out Sebastian's unboxing video. Hopefully he's posting that soon. Got a little package, little surprise from your boy.
Should have
Also check
posted last Sunday, by when this is getting. So the way when this is getting recorded and when this posting, previous Sunday. You're welcome.
Video.
Scheduling things like that. But thanks so much for coming on the channel. If you guys go ahead and check out all the links down below. I have a quick link to Rob's collection, Instagram, as well as Game Day Toys and Games as well. If you guys want to go ahead and check them out, go ahead and give them a follow. If you guys are in New York and looking for a competitive setting, first of all, you're in the correct city. New York is by far the most highly competitive locals I've ever experienced, full of YCS winners. What's it called? A world championship winner. The one who won the nationals as well is in New York. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hansa. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's like
in New York. So
New York has some of the highest caliber of players.
Exactly. It's the highest caliber of players. So if you guys are in New York, definitely in the right place. But go check out Game Day Toys and Games. But thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you stick around to the end of the video, appreciate you guys so much. Subscribe for more. Like the video. Comment down below what deck you guys want to see Rob or myself make next. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.